their hair for this reason, because they want to keep that energy into their hair. But they were always, in ritual and in prayer and meditation. I mean, they do those things constantly. We don't, in this world, we don't do that constantly. Most of the people don't, anyway. Don't continually do that. So then they trim the hair and they're like, oh my God, I feel so good. And they don't understand why. And they have just detoxed some energy that they've been holding on to.
So tell me the day that came online for you, where things started to click and you were like, whoa, this is a gift for me. Walk me through.
I've always been an intuitive hairstylist, and I'm a yoga instructor as well, and I do that intuitively as well. Like if I'm working with a client, even in yoga, I just ground and I'll know what they need and what poses they need. And it kind of works the same with hair. So my client will walk in, and especially if I don't know her, which is even more exciting for me. But the more you know a person as well, you can really learn to see who they are and how you can complement how they look to who they are within.
And who are they becoming?
Exactly. And who are they becoming? And that changes, right? It always changes. And they come in and first I pray beforehand. I meditate and I pray. And I connect with my spirit to come forth and be creative. And then I speak to them and I find out what's in their hearts and how are they feeling. And then from there, together, we figure out how can you match how you look on the outside by how you feel and who you're becoming on the inside. And then we work on that. And, it's interesting because I think that a lot of women are awakening right now, and a lot of women and men, and they feel a little confused with that because they're awakening to something deeper and they don't want to look outside. They keep looking inside, so they feel like maybe hair and makeup and color is shallow. So they're trying to how do they put that in the mix with everything? But I don't believe that it's separate. I believe that you have to bring it together. I believe it's about how you feel more than how you look. So when you look in the mirror, instead of saying, how do I look, is how do I feel when I see this color hair or this haircut or this, or, no hair at all in your case. Like, how does this make me feel? And I think by just telling them that and educating them on that, it changes something in them. And it's easier for them to figure out how they want to look and without feeling shame about, hey, I want to be a different color, or I want hair extensions, or I want even eyelash extensions, or whatever makes you feel good. It's all about joy. What brings you joy? So the first time it kind of came to me like, oh, wow, and actually this was a client and she said, you're like a hair shaman. And I was like, ooh, I like that. So it was the first time I met her, and a friend introduced me to her. And I was going to do both of their hair in their home. So I went there, and it was the first time I met this particular goddess. And I said, hi. And she was really her shoulders were slumped over. And she was just like, hi, and the first thing she said was, I'm sorry, I'm just going through a divorce. And it was the first thing. Going through a divorce, I'm not in a very good place right now. And I said, that's okay. Just be who you are. I'm not here to judge you. And she was like, okay. And, we all hung out, and I did one person. Then I got to her, and I'm very sensitive to energy, so I can feel her energy. And instead of shying away from it, which is what we can often do, I felt like I needed to help her heal it. So as I grabbed her hair, I said a little prayer. I say to myself, and I ask the clients to breathe too. So I tell her to take a deep breath, maybe 3 deep breaths, and exhale through the mouth. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, you don't need anything extreme. I said, I think you need to cut a couple of inches. I said, I think you're holding a lot of this energy from your divorce and from your changes, and it's in your hair, and it's hard for you to let go of it because it's there, it's sitting there. So just like skin, sometimes we need to exfoliate or, go into the ocean and let the salt water exfoliate you. We need to trim the hair to get rid of it. So she was like, okay, no, great, do whatever you want. And I said, okay. So I just took 3 or maybe 4 inches. She had long hair off of her hair, and I cut into it. And as I was doing it, I was just feeling it, and then afterwards, we were all talking, and she was like, and she turned around, and her whole being and her skin just glowed. It was like she had this white light around her. And I looked at her friend that introduced her, and I said, look at her, and she turned around, she looked at it, and she said, oh my God. And I said, you are glowing. I was like, she goes, oh my God, I feel amazing. She's like, and she looked at me, she goes, you're like the hair shaman. And we all started laughing. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that, And the more I told that story, and by her telling me that, she gave me a gift too, because it was like, I accepted it. And I was like, yes, I am. And I love it. And I've been doing this for 20 years for a reason, because I love it. And it's my art. And not only it's my art, it grew into something deeper and more spiritual. And I do, and I love it. And it's been fun, So the more I get into it, the more I let the clients breathe. Some feel a little like, okay, but then they do it and they're like, oh, that felt good, And I've always noticed it. You give someone a little trim and right away they say, oh, I feel better already. And now I say, why do you think that? Like, why do you think you feel better already? And I let them question it, and it becomes that kind of conversation while they're getting their hair done. So it just turns it into a different experience for them. And I think they enjoy it.
Do you feel that you are a bridge?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, for them and for me. They give me as much as I give them.
As well as there's a very real sense that you are using you are using the platform of like, it's not common, but to get a haircut is not outside the realm of our society. It's like going to the dentist. Yeah, we go to the dentist. Yes, we get our haircut. Yes. Okay. So, it's not a new concept that you're introducing, but you absolutely approach it with the deep, foundational, rooted, elementary, cleansing, healing energy that can truly come out of that sort of transformation. I have for a very long time have noticed the goddess workshops that are happening. That's, salons, that's what they feel like. Like, that's where they originally came from these beautiful temples with these goddesses, spikenard, frankincense, myrrh, having, just beautiful baths and manes of hair and just gorgeous, lovely, luscious, nourishing treatments. That is ritual. And so, it's interesting that you say that, people don't always, in this time, that there's not a lot of ritual. This is a ritual, that you are undertaking, and that you are welcoming, you are using an existing opening as a bridge, not just in the industry, but just for people to feel very comfortable with being able to get on that bridge and to walk that place with you and to have the conversation and to breathe in and out in a very real, I'm sure it eventually gets woo-woo, but because
I try anyway.
We can't help ourselves.
I try to bring the woo-woo out in them.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it turns into I just see them, when you start with that, they just open up as well, and then we start to talk about these deep things, and some people leave and they're like, I don't know why I pay my therapist. I should just go, but we come up with it together. Like, all of a sudden I'm like, you know what that is? You know what I think that comes from? And they're like, and they look at me like, holy shit, I can't, like, I've been in therapy for months and haven't come up with that, Yeah, great.
Good. It's
Great.
so good. And, to continue to think about that and to really feel into that, when you welcome someone to help you take care of yourself,
Yes.
you are welcoming their wisdom. And, in our society, we kind of have these cookie cutter boxes of, oh, my therapist works on that, and then my beautician works on that, my stylist works on that. No, my friends, we are in the awakening and the healing of the sacred feminine. The goddess is here. And she is in you, she is in me, and she is in every woman that comes in front of us, and every woman that will hear this beautiful manifestation and conversation that we have been able to facilitate here for you, for us, for them.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing the work that you're doing in the world. How cool. How cool. Okay, tell me about yourself. Tell the ladies that are listening to this how they can learn a little bit more about you. Where, where is your website? Where do you cut hair? What is your Facebook and your Instagram information? Go for it.
Okay, so my website is my full name, CaolinaLiVigni.com. And I freelance mostly. I freelance here in Florida and in New York City. So I've only been in Florida 3 years, so I've always lived in Manhattan, in New York. So I have a huge clientele there. And I fly back every 6 weeks, and I have a whole week of clients to take care of. And while I'm there, I spend a couple of extra more days to hang out with friends and family. And sometimes I actually do come into New Jersey to see my girl, Leslie, and my 3 little beautiful goddesses, her children. And she is my soulmate, Leslie. We are sisters, and we've been sisters for many, many, many lives. And so grateful to have her in my life. So I try to go and see them. And so people could come see me in New York or here in South Florida. In South Florida, I work out of a salon in Delray Beach a couple days a week, and I also freelance. I go to people's homes. They could come to my home. And that place is called Naked Hair Salon. And they're all organic. They have organic color, organic products, and it's a beautiful space. You walk into that space and you go, wow, it smells so amazing in here, and it's all the organic products. It's a big difference from other salons after you walk into a place like that and you walk into a different salon. I'm not putting them down, it's fine, but you could smell and feel the energy of it. It's like walking into a regular supermarket. Here in Florida, it's Publix or Whole Foods. People always say, I love being in Whole Foods, and I'm like, I think it's because it's the quality of the food and the things that they're selling there is higher energy. So you feel higher energy. So I feel like it's the same thing with products for your hair and how you go about it. The higher the energy, the better you feel.
So on your website, Caolina LiVigni, I'm just going to spell that for everyone. CarolinaliVigni.com. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of eyes.
And and that's where they can get the information on how to contact you, how to connect with you, how to love you
my
up.
Email, my phone number, all the places that I will, that I am. Yes.
Okay. And
all my information.
When you're in New York, you're in Manhattan?
Yes.
Okay. And then what is your handle on Facebook and Instagram?
So Facebook is also my name, and then there's I also have there's so many things now, I get confused. Oh, on Facebook it's Hair, Body, and Soul, because I teach yoga as well, so I try to incorporate the two together. So Hair, Body, and Soul is my page on Facebook, but of course it's also my name, my regular page. And then it's the Hair Shaman on Instagram.
Okay, awesome. Very, very cool.